Admiral Victoria Kane stood at the command center of the Terran Defense Station Artemis, her steel-gray eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the approaching Galactic Council delegation. At 62, she had spent the last 15 years overseeing humanity's greatest deception, appearing technologically primitive while secretly advancing far beyond the Council's expectations. They're broadcasting their standard first contact protocols again, Admiral, Lieutenant Marcus Rivera reported from his communications station. Still assuming we're using basic radio waves. Kane allowed herself a small smile. For 5 years, humanity had maintained the facade of being a fledgling spacefaring civilization, using outdated communication methods and seemingly primitive propulsion systems when any Council ships were watching. Meanwhile, beneath the surface of Mars and within the asteroid belt, humanity's true fleet grew in secret. Confirmed Council presence, 15 vessels, mostly diplomatic class, announced Commander Riya Patel, her fingers dancing across the tactical display. They're maintaining their standard formation, nothing suggests they suspect our capabilities. The Council ships approached Earth's orbit with the casual confidence of advanced civilizations that had guided countless, primitive, species into their galactic community. Their sleek vessels gleamed with crystalline technology, a display meant to awe and humble the newcomers. Admiral, Rivera called out, they're requesting direct communication with Earth's leadership. Their message. He paused, fighting back a grin, expresses hope that we can understand their advanced transmission methods. Kane straightened her midnight blue uniform. Accept the transmission. Let's play our part one final time. The main screen flickered to life, revealing High Counselor Zextal, his bioluminescent features arranged in what humans had learned was the Alfarian equivalent of a condescending smile. Greetings, representatives of Earth. We come bearing guidance and wisdom from the Galactic Council. We are honored by your presence, High Counselor, Kane replied, carefully maintaining an expression of appropriate awe. Earth welcomes the Council's guidance. Our preliminary observations suggest your species has achieved rudimentary faster-than-light travel, Zextal continued. However, your methods are concerning. The Council has established protocols for proper technological development. We are here to begin the process of bringing your civilization into compliance. Kane shared a subtle glance with Commander Patel. The Council's protocols were well known to Earth's intelligence services, a means of ensuring new civilizations developed along controlled paths, remaining dependent on Council technology and guidance. We are grateful for your concern, Kane replied carefully. However, we would like to understand more about these protocols before committing Earth to any agreements. Zextal's bioluminescence flickered with mild irritation. These protocols are not optional, Admiral Kane. The Council has observed concerning patterns in your species' development. Your rapid advancement in propulsion technology, while still using primitive fission power sources, suggests dangerous irregularities. Irregularities? Kane asked innocently. Your species advances too quickly in some areas while remaining primitive in others. It is unnatural. The Council's protocols will correct these developmental imbalances. Kane noticed several Council ships subtly adjusting their positions, moving to establish a containment formation around Earth. They weren't even trying to hide their intentions, they didn't believe humans could detect such advanced tactical movements. Lieutenant Rivera, Kane called out, maintaining eye contact with Zextal, please activate the Prometheus protocol. With pleasure, Admiral, Rivera responded, entering a complex sequence into his console. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum sensors awakened. Massive energy signatures, previously masked by revolutionary human technology, began to appear on the Council ship sensors. Beneath the surface of Mars, extensive shipyards shimmered into visibility as their quantum camouflage deactivated. Around Jupiter's moons, enormous energy arrays powered up, revealing humanity's mastery of zero-point energy generation. Zextal's expression shifted from confidence to confusion to alarm in rapid succession. This is impossible. Your energy signatures, these readings cannot be correct. I assure you, High Counselor, Kane replied, allowing her diplomatic mask to fade, they are entirely accurate. Earth appreciated the Council's attention, but we must decline your protocols. We have developed quite well on our own. These advancement levels, Zextal sputtered, they violate every known developmental model. Your species should not be capable of this technology for centuries. Perhaps, Kane suggested, it's time for the Council to update its models. Earth is prepared to join the galactic community, as equals, not as subjects. The choice, High Counselor, is yours. As if to emphasize her point, a massive vessel emerged from quantum space near Luna, its hull composed of dark matter alloys that the Council had deemed theoretically impossible to manipulate. The TDS Hyperion, humanity's first true capital ship, represented every breakthrough Earth had achieved while maintaining its technological masquerade. The first move had been made. Now, Kane thought, watching the Council ships scramble to respond to this new reality, we'll see if the galaxy is ready for humanity's true face. The next 12 hours aboard the TDS Hyperion became a delicate dance of power and diplomacy. Captain Raj Sharma watched the Council ships through the ship's quantum-enhanced sensors, noting how they maintained their distance while frantically communicating with their homeworlds. They've established 7 different quantum tunnels for communication, reported Lieutenant Diana Walsh, her fingers moving across the sensor controls. The encryption pattern suggests serious disagreement among Council members. Sharma nodded, his dark eyes studying the tactical display. After 20 years in Earth's hidden fleet, he had learned to read the subtle signs of alien behavior. The Council ship's erratic energy signatures revealed their crew's agitation. Status of the quantum matrix, he asked, turning to his chief engineer. Commander James O'Neill looked up from his station, his weathered face illuminated by holographic readouts. Stable and undetected, Captain. The Council still hasn't realized we're reading their secure communications. Their quantum encryption remains, primitive compared to ours. The irony wasn't lost on anyone on the bridge. The Council had dismissed humanity as primitives, never suspecting that Earth had taken a radically different path in quantum physics research. While the Council relied on crystalline computing, humans had developed organic quantum processors that operated on principles the aliens had never considered. Captain, Walsh called out suddenly, new signatures detected at the edge of the system. Multiple Council warships entering from FTL. The tactical display updated, showing 20 new vessels approaching. These weren't the diplomatic ships they'd been dealing with. These were warships of the Centauri hegemony, the Council's primary military force. Admiral Kane is hailing, Communications Officer Yuki Tanaka announced. Kane's hologram appeared on the bridge. Captain Sharma, I trust you're seeing our new visitors. Yes, Admiral. The hegemony's third fleet, based on their energy signatures. They're not here for diplomacy. Agreed. High Counselor Zextal claims he didn't request military intervention, but several hardline Council races are apparently taking matters into their own hands. Kane's expression hardened. Time to show them our second surprise. Deploy the quantum swarm. Sharma allowed himself a small smile. Gladly, Admiral. O'Neill, initiate Project Hydra. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum processors activated. What appeared to be simple asteroid clusters suddenly revealed themselves as massive drone carriers. Thousands of autonomous units emerged, each powered by organic quantum cores that made them nearly impossible to hack or disable using conventional Council technology. The hegemony fleet's approach faltered as their sensors detected the swarm. Their formation tightened, a classic defensive posture against drone attacks. They clearly expected basic autonomous units, the kind most civilizations employed. They weren't prepared for what humanity had actually created. Quantum swarm achieving collective consciousness, O'Neill reported, watching as the drones linked their quantum processors into a vast neural network. Emergence in 3, 2, 1. The swarm moved as a single entity, flowing through space in patterns that defied conventional tactics. Each drone shared processing power and awareness with the others, creating a distributed intelligence that could adapt and evolve its strategies in real time. "They're attempting to jam the drones," Walsh reported, then grinned. "Attempting and failing. Their systems can't even detect the quantum links, let alone disrupt them." The Hegemony fleet opened fire, energy beams slicing through space where drones had been milliseconds before. But the swarm moved with impossible precision, each unit predicting and evading attacks before they were even fired, thanks to their quantum-enabled temporal calculations. "Admiral," Sharma reported, "the swarm is in position. We can disable their entire fleet without causing casualties." "Do it," Kane ordered. "Let's show them the difference between aggression and capability." The swarm struck with surgical precision. Quantum fields disrupted the Hegemony ship's crystal-based systems, while targeted electromagnetic pulses disabled their secondary controls. Within minutes, the entire fleet hung powerless in space, their crews unharmed but their vessels completely neutralized. "Admiral," Tanaka called out, "we're receiving multiple hails, not just from the disabled fleet. 3 council races are requesting immediate diplomatic channels. There." She paused, checking her readings. "They're offering to recognize Earth as a full council member, independent of the standard protocols." Kane's hologram smiled grimly. "The balance of power shifts. Captain Sharma, maintain position but have the swarm pull back slightly. Let's show them we can be reasonable." "Understood, Admiral." Sharma watched as the swarm reorganized itself into a defensive screen around Earth. "Though I suspect this isn't over." "No," Kane agreed. "The hardliners won't accept this easily. But they needed to learn that humanity won't be controlled or contained. The real question is how many council races will recognize the opportunity we represent rather than the threat they fear we are." As if to emphasize her point, the Hyperion's quantum sensors detected more FTL signatures forming at the system's edge. The next few hours would determine whether humanity's revelation would lead to war or a new era of galactic cooperation. Either way, Earth had demonstrated that it would never again be dismissed as primitive. The only question was whether the Council could adapt to this new reality, or if they would force humanity to demonstrate even more of its hidden capabilities. The quantum alerts blared throughout the TDS Hyperion as 3 massive fleets emerged from FTL space. The hardline council races had made their decision, and they'd chosen war. 150 vessels, Commander O'Neill reported, his voice tense. Dominion dreadnoughts leading the formation. "They've brought their best, Captain." Captain Sharma exchanged glances with Admiral Kane's hologram. The Dominion was feared even among council races for their ruthless efficiency and overwhelming firepower. Their crystalline ships, each nearly twice the size of the Hyperion, were considered unstoppable by conventional forces. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," Lieutenant Walsh announced. "Grand Marshal Kexthor of the Dominion demands Earth's immediate surrender and submission to Council authority." "There." She paused, "They're threatening to reduce our solar system to its constituent atoms." Admiral Kane's expression remained calm. "Captain Sharma, initiate Symphony Protocol." "Are you certain, Admiral?" Sharma asked quietly. "Once we reveal this capability, they've left us no choice. The hardliners need to understand exactly what they're dealing with." Sharma nodded. "Commander O'Neill, begin the symphony." Deep within the Hyperion's quantum core, a process began that the Council had long deemed impossible. The ship's organic quantum processors didn't just communicate with each other, they began to manipulate the fundamental fabric of spacetime itself. "Quantum harmonics achieving resonance," O'Neill reported. "Dimensional overlay in 3, 2, 1. The space around the Hyperion seemed to ripple, like heat waves over desert sand. The Dominion fleet sensors went wild as they detected something their civilization had never achieved, controlled quantum entanglement on a massive scale. By the first stars, Kexthor's voice boomed across the communications channels. "What are you doing?" The answer came not in words but in demonstration. The quantum swarm, still maintaining its defensive screen around Earth, suddenly shifted. Each drone's quantum signature synchronized with the Hyperion's harmonic frequency. Space itself seemed to fold and unfold around them. Multiple contacts. Walsh shouted, but now she was grinning. The symphony is working perfectly. From quantum space emerged humanity's true fleet. Not dozens of ships, but thousands. Each vessel was linked through the quantum harmonic network, allowing them to operate as a single entity while maintaining individual tactical flexibility. The ships had always been there, existing slightly out of phase with normal spacetime, waiting for this moment. Impossible. Kexthor's voice had lost its commanding edge. No civilization has mastered quantum dimensional storage. The energy requirements alone. You're still thinking in terms of crystalline technology, Marshal, Admiral Kane replied calmly. Humanity chose a different path. The organic quantum processors we developed don't just compute, they dream. They imagine possibilities your rigid systems could never conceive. The human fleet moved with impossible coordination, each ship's actions perfectly synchronized through the quantum network. The Dominion fleet's formation, previously so threatening, now looked hopelessly exposed. Final warning, Marshal, Kane announced. Withdraw your fleet. We don't want war, but we will not submit to oppression, no matter how many ships you bring. The Dominion ships began charging their primary weapons. Their response was clear. Very well, Kane sighed. Captain Sharma, demonstrate our defensive capabilities. Minimal force. The symphony reached its crescendo. As the Dominion fleet opened fire, their energy beams struck what appeared to be empty space, only to vanish completely. The quantum harmonics had created microscopic temporal pockets that absorbed and nullified their attacks. Their weapons are having no effect, Walsh reported. Countermeasures. Proceed, Sharma ordered. Targeted systems only. The human fleet responded with precise quantum pulses. Rather than destroying the Dominion ships, the pulses simply severed the quantum links in their crystalline computers. One by one, the mighty dreadnoughts went dark, their crews unharmed but their ships reduced to drifting hulks. Admiral, Communications Officer Tanaka called out, we're receiving surrender signals from 60% of the remaining Council ships. The others are. She paused, checking her readings, they're requesting asylum. Asylum? Kane asked, surprised. Yes, Admiral. They're claiming they were forced into this attack by the hardline factions. They're offering to share intelligence about who orchestrated this response to Earth's emergence. Kane's hologram smiled grimly. It seems we're not the only ones who've been hiding things from the Council. Captain Sharma, secure the disabled vessels and prepare to receive diplomats. I suspect the real negotiations are about to begin. As the human fleet moved to secure their victories, Sharma couldn't help but wonder what other secrets the Council races had been keeping from each other. Perhaps humanity's emergence would force more than just technological truths into the light. The symphony continued to resonate through space, its quantum harmonics a reminder that humanity had forever changed the balance of power in the galaxy. The question now was whether that change would lead to a new era of cooperation, or if more battles lay ahead before the Council truly accepted Earth as an equal. The diplomatic chamber aboard the TDS Hyperion hummed with tension as representatives from 23 Council races gathered for emergency negotiations. Admiral Kane stood at the head of the quantum glass table, watching the varied expressions, from fear to curiosity to barely concealed admiration, on alien faces. The Dominion's actions were unsanctioned, High Counselor Zextal insisted, his bioluminescence pulsing with agitation. Many of us had no knowledge of their planned aggression. Yet you didn't warn us either, Commander Patel pointed out from her position beside Kane. Even when you detected their fleet's approach. A representative of the Arxian Collective, their crystalline form shimmering with multiple colors, spoke up. Some of us have long opposed the Council's rigid development protocols. Earth's emergence proves what we've argued for centuries: there are many paths to advancement. The chamber erupted in overlapping voices and translator echoes as various factions argued their positions. Kane let them continue for a moment before raising her hand for silence. "We're not here to assign blame," she stated firmly. "We're here to discuss the future. Earth has demonstrated its capabilities, yes, but we'd prefer cooperation to conflict." Cooperation? A harsh laugh came from the Dominion's temporary representative, a junior diplomat named Vexcar who'd been aboard one of the surrendered ships. "Your species hid its true nature, developed forbidden technologies, and humiliated our greatest fleet. Why should anyone trust you?" "Because we could have destroyed your ships rather than simply disabling them," Captain Sharma responded quietly. "Because despite having the power to dominate, we seek dialogue. And because," he smiled slightly, "we're not the only ones with secrets, are we?" That caused several representatives to shift uncomfortably in their seats. The intelligence from the asylum seekers had proven fascinating, revealing deep divisions within the Council and suggesting that Earth wasn't the only civilization to hide capabilities from central authority. "The Arxian Collective stands with Earth," the crystalline representative announced suddenly. "We've monitored their development in secret. Their organic quantum processing could revolutionize our understanding of consciousness itself." "The Helix Confederation also stands with Earth," another voice joined in. "Their dimensional storage technology could solve our people's expansion crisis." One by one, more representatives began declaring their positions. The chamber's quantum displays showed the balance of power shifting in real time as various races aligned themselves either with Earth or with the traditional Council hardliners. "This is unprecedented," Zextal muttered. "Such rapid realignment." "Not unprecedented," Kane corrected gently. "Your own records speak of similar moments in galactic history. Times when new ideas and technologies forced evolution in Council politics. But never so quickly," he protested. "Never with such disruption." "Perhaps that's exactly what the galaxy needs," the Arxian representative suggested. "We've grown stagnant, bound by protocols established millennia ago. Earth offers not just new technology, but new ways of thinking." Commander O'Neill's voice came through Kane's private quantum link. "Admiral, we're detecting unusual energy signatures from several representatives. It seems some of them are using quantum dampeners to mask their own technological signatures." Kane smiled inwardly. Just as she'd suspected, Earth wasn't the only civilization that had grown beyond Council restrictions. They were simply the first to reveal it so dramatically. "I propose a new alliance," Kane announced, drawing all attention back to her. "Not to replace the Council, but to supplement it. A coalition of civilizations committed to shared innovation rather than controlled development." "You would shatter thousands of years of stability," Vexcar warned. "No," the Helix representative countered. "We would transform stability into progress. The galaxy is changing. We can either change with it or be left behind." The quantum displays showed more power shifts as representatives began signaling their support for the proposal. Even some of the traditionally conservative races were showing interest, their centuries-old masks of technological compliance beginning to crack. "There will be resistance," Zextal warned. "The Dominion will not accept this easily. Other hardline races will stand with them." "Then let them stand," Kane replied firmly. "But they should understand that they no longer face just Earth. They face a coalition of races ready to embrace change." As if to emphasize her point, several representatives suddenly deactivated their quantum dampeners, revealing technological signatures far beyond their officially recognized levels. The chamber's sensors lit up with readings that would have been shocking hours ago but now seemed almost expected. "Well," Captain Sharma observed dryly, "it seems humanity isn't the only species that knows how to keep secrets." The laughter that rippled through the chamber broke the last of the formal tension. As representatives began clustering into smaller groups, discussing potential technological exchanges and joint research initiatives, Kane knew they'd reached a turning point. The galaxy was transforming, faster than anyone had anticipated. The old order of rigid development protocols and centralized control was crumbling. In its place, something new was emerging, an alliance built on shared innovation and mutual respect. The question now was how the hardline races would respond to this new reality. As Kane watched the diplomatic interactions unfold, she suspected that humanity's greatest challenges, and opportunities, still lay ahead. The great hall of the Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Admiral Kane stepped onto the speaking platform. 3 months had passed since Earth's revelation had shaken the foundations of galactic society, and now representatives from over 200 civilizations gathered to witness something unprecedented. The vote stands at 97% in favor, announced High Counselor Zextal, his bioluminescence glowing with formal dignity. For the first time in Council history, we will amend the fundamental protocols of technological development. Through the quantum link, Captain Sharma transmitted his private thoughts to Kane. They're still watching the outer system, Admiral. The Dominion fleet hasn't moved. Kane acknowledged with a subtle gesture. The hardline races had gathered their remaining forces at the edge of Council space, a final show of defiance against the changing order. But they were increasingly isolated, as more civilizations chose to embrace the new paradigm Earth had introduced. Members of the Council, Kane began, her voice carrying through the universal translators. Today marks not just a change in policy, but a transformation in understanding. When humanity reached for the stars, we chose a different path, not out of defiance, but out of necessity. The quantum displays around the chamber showed images of Earth's development, the early experiments with organic quantum processing, the breakthrough in consciousness-driven computing, the first successful dimensional storage tests. We hid our advances not out of deception, but out of respect for the natural development of galactic society. We knew our innovations would challenge fundamental assumptions. We waited until we could demonstrate not just our capabilities, but our commitment to peaceful cooperation. And in doing so, the Arxian representative added, you inspired others to reveal their own hidden progress. The old protocols didn't prevent advancement, they merely forced it underground. The chamber's quantum sensors hummed as more civilizations continued to deactivate their technological masks. What had started with Earth had become a cascade of revelations, as species after species showed how they had developed beyond their official technological levels. The Dominion fleet is powering up weapons, Sharma reported through the link. They're advancing toward Council space. Kane continued speaking, even as she processed this information. The future we propose is not one of unrestricted development, but of collaborative innovation. Not the absence of protocols, but the evolution of them. They're broadcasting, Sharma updated. The Dominion demands we stop this proceeding or they'll. He never finished. Throughout Council space, quantum sensors detected massive energy signatures as hidden defense networks activated, systems developed in secret by dozens of civilizations, now working in perfect harmony through protocols adapted from Earth's symphony system. The Dominion fleet found itself surrounded not by the scattered defenses they'd expected, but by a fully integrated, multi-species defense grid that made their weapons meaningless. We see you, brothers, Kane addressed the Dominion fleet directly, her words broadcasting across all frequencies. We understand your fear. Change is always frightening. But you're not losing the stability you cherish, you're gaining the freedom to grow beyond it. On the quantum displays, the Dominion ships hung motionless, their weapons powered but unfired. The choice before them was clear: adapt to the new reality, or face isolation from the emerging galactic renaissance. The Council will not be dissolved, Zextal declared, reading from the newly ratified protocols. But it will be transformed. The era of rigid development is ended. The era of collaborative innovation begins. One by one, the Dominion ships began powering down their weapons. Their commander's voice, when it came through the translators, carried a tone of resignation mixed with curiosity. "We request inclusion in the new protocols. Perhaps there are things we too have kept hidden." The chamber erupted in approving sounds from 100 different species. Kane smiled, feeling the weight of decades of secrecy finally lifting from her shoulders. "Captain," she transmitted to Sharma, "bring the Hyperion to the Council station. I think it's time for humanity to properly introduce ourselves to our galactic neighbors." As she watched the celebration unfold around her, Kane reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Earth had hidden its true nature for years, advancing in secret while appearing primitive. But in the end, their greatest achievement hadn't been technological, it had been catalyzing a transformation that would reshape galactic civilization itself. The quantum symphonies of 1,000 worlds began to harmonize as ancient barriers fell and hidden innovations came to light. The galaxy was awakening to new possibilities, new ways of thinking, new paths to the future. And humanity, no longer pretending to be primitive, would help guide the way forward, not as conquerors or revolutionaries, but as partners in the greatest advancement in galactic history. The new era had begun. Would you like me to create the SEO-optimized title and description for your YouTube video now?